Hi everyone, welcome back to Bochiknot Macrame. We'll be going over how to make a macrame wreath. Before we begin, you'll need a few materials and supplies. I used two different colored cords for this pattern. You can choose to do the same, or you can make the whole pattern using only one color. We will start by making the 3 green flowers on the side of the wreath. And to do this, we'll take our ring and attach 3 strands of green colored cord at about 230 centimeters long onto the ring using a double half-hitch knot. So we will take 1 strand of cord at a time, and at the center of the cord we're going to make a double half-hitch knot. So once you have weaved your strand of cord through on the ring, we're going to take that left strand, which is the back strand here, and we're going to fold it over again to form a loop and pull it out at the front. Pull on both ends to tighten the knot. Repeat this step 2 more times by attaching 2 more cords onto the ring using a double half-hitch knot. Now taking the far right back cord, we're going to use that as the anchor cord for a row of double half-hitch knots to the left. Now, starting at the 3rd cord from the left, we will use that as an anchor cord for a row of double half-hitch knots to the right. We will make 3 double half-hitch knots to the right and start forming the first petal of this flower. Then we're going to continue making a few more rows of double half-hitch knots and taking the cord right underneath on the left of the row of double half-hitch knots you just made. We're going to use that as the anchor cord for another row of double half-hitch knots to the right. Once this row is done, make one more row underneath to the right. Once you have made 4 double half-hitch knot rows with 3 of them angled towards the right, we will take that same anchor cord that's on the far right now and fold it back towards the left and make another row of double half-hitch knots, but this time we're going to work towards the left. We're going to repeat with 2 more rows after this, using the far right cord every time, and make 2 more rows of double half-hitch knots to the left. Once you have completed the 3 rows to the left, we're going to go back to our original 2 cords to the far left, and we're going to make a double half-hitch knot using the second cord as the working cord onto the left anchor cord. Then taking the cords underneath the double half-hitch knot pattern on the right, one by one we'll attach them onto the left anchor cord using a double half-hitch knot. You have now completed your first petal. To start the second petal, we're going to take that far right anchor cord, fold it to the left, and make one row of double half-hitch knots, leaving a little bit of space in between the last row of double half-hitch knots. This will start the curve that you see from the first petal that we had made, that will start from the right and curve towards the left. Now repeat the pattern similar to the first petal, and ignoring the first two cords on the left, starting with the third cord as the anchor cord, make 3 rows of double half-hitch knots to the right, and then reverse back and make 3 rows of double half-hitch knots to the left, and then close off the petal with the far left 2 cords. Continue this pattern until you have made a total of 3 petals. Once all 3 petals are complete, we will attach the ends of the cords onto the metal ring using another row of double half-hitch knots. Pull the cord ends through the metal ring, and then when the petals are facing you, start from the left and make a row of double half-hitch knots all the way to the right. To close this flower off, we're going to turn it upside down And then we're going to make one more row of double half-hitch knots, starting from the left inner cord here as the anchor cord for a row of double half-hitch knots to the right. I also wanted to add, if you guys are interested in any of the materials that I've used in today's tutorial, like this green colored cord and the off-white colored cord I'll be using in the next part of the tutorial, or even this metal ring, please check out bochiknot.com/shop for further details. Once that is done, cut off the excess cords. Turn the pattern back around, and we're going to push the two ends together, and this is how we form the first flower. Repeat this green flower pattern 2 more times. Once you have all 3 of the green flowers attached onto the metal ring, we are going to start making the remaining part of the wreath pattern. We are going to be using an off-white colored cord this time to make the remaining part of the wreath, using a different wreath pattern. I've designed my wreath here by adding 3 of these green colored flowers to the left, and then the remainder of the piece will be a white colored part of the wreath. If you guys prefer to make the rest of this wreath pattern using these green flowers that we had just gone over, you guys can go ahead and do that. That's totally up to you guys. Or if you guys prefer this new pattern I'll be showing you with the white cord, then you can also go ahead and make the entire wreath using that white only pattern as well. You guys can mix and match depending on what design of a wreath you guys want to come up with. If you guys want to stick to how I've done it, you guys can do that as well. So to begin the white part of the wreath, we are going to take 3 strands of cord at 100 centimeters long each, fold them all in half, and then we're going to take the loop ends and we're going to make a square knot with the far left and far right cords, so that there's 3 small loops at the top of this knot. And this knot is called the triple loop knot. Once the square knot is tight and we have the 3 loops at the top, we're going to take this knot and we're going to attach it onto the ring using a row of double half-hitch knots. So starting from the left again, we're going to take 1 cord at a time and we're going to attach it onto the ring using a double half-hitch knot. Repeat these steps again and attach one more triple loop knot onto the ring to the right. Now, working with two of these triple loop knot sections, we're going to start off by making square knots adjacent to each other. So starting with the 4 cords on the left, we're going to make 3 side-by-side square knots. Then in between the first 2 square knots, make a berry knot. Start off by making 3 consecutive square knots, then take the middle 2 cords, which are the anchor cords, weave them through the hole right above the first square knot, and then pull the cords through from the back. Finish off with one more square knot to tighten the berry knot. Then make one more berry knot to the right in between the second and the third square knot. In between the 2 berry knots, make one more berry knot in the middle. Then we're going to close off this pattern by making 2 diagonal rows of double half-hitch knots. So starting on the right side, we're going to take the far right cord as the anchor cord and make a row of double half-hitch knots down to the left, stopping after the 5th double half-hitch knot. Then repeat on the left side for 5 double half-hitch knots down to the right. And then make 1 more double half-hitch knot in the middle to complete the V-shaped pattern. Once this is complete, repeat 4 more times all around the ring for a total of 5 off-white colored petals. Once the wreath has been filled up with all the flower petals, we're going to cut a few strands of cord here from the excess fringe of about 25 centimeters long, so we just need to cut 3 of them. So take the longer cords here. Don't cut all the way towards the V-shaped pattern of the petal. Leave a bit of room and cut 25 centimeters off and cut 3 strands of those. Take 1 strand of cord at 25 centimeters long and we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to attach it onto the metal ring in between one of those green flower petals using a lark's head knot. Then taking 1 strand of cord at 40 centimeters long, we're going to use that cord as the working cords to make a berry knot. And we're going to start making the square knots about 2 centimeters down from the top, and we're going to make 3 consecutive square knots. Then we'll take the middle 2 cords and we're going to weave it in between the 2 cords right above the first square knot, pulling the cords through to the back. Once the middle cords are through, make 1 more square knot to close off the berry. Once that is done, tuck the excess cords of the berry to the back of the flower. Then repeat 2 more times by adding 2 more berries on the other green flowers. Once the berries are added, we're going to turn the wreath upside down and we're going to make a few double overhand knots just to secure the knot at the back. And then we're going to cut off the excess cords. Then for the off-white colored part of the wreath, we're going to cut off the excess cords by following the shape of the petal. Then using a comb, we will comb through the fringe to give it a nice fluffy look. Comb and trim again until you've reached your desired length of the fringe. We have now completed this macrame flower wreath. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.